Okay. All right. There's a plane. The plane bus. The plane. Okay. So, with much experimentation and failure and regrouping and re-engineering, I finally got one claw working. So there's one of the claws. It'll actually go on like so. It does look a little big, but oh well, it's done. Anyway, he'll. I ended up having to. I already put the glue on here, so I didn't have to get on the respirator again. But I had to. This used to be shaped like a clam, and now it's more like a serpent's head, I guess. So it will fit up inside of here. And I did open up the seam all the way around and put glue on the inside of the mouth palate thing, or not mouth, I guess claw palate. And it'll go in here like so. And I'm going to do that right now. And there's so much glue everywhere. See if I can actually do this. This is why I went off. I couldn't concentrate enough to figure all this stuff out. Not that I'm doing such a bang up job right now. So that's against that. I am not 100% sure these are going to be removable arm rods anymore. That's okay, though. They're just so difficult to get in and out of there. Some great gluing work I have going on here. Okay. All right, so there's his other arm. Hopefully I made a left and a right. Looks like it. Yeah, I think I'm going to give up on these things being removable. We all know that they're removable, but they're there we go. I got to cover them now, but I'm going to actually figure out the arms, make these a little bit longer, and they're just basically going to be a tube, like a 10-inch, maybe 11-inch tube. I think about 5 inches around. Nah. I just want to make like a little cuff to see how big I need to make this thing. Okay, so this is... This is 6 inches right now. It actually looks pretty good. Maybe 5. try 5.5 first. I think 5. So I'm going to make a tube that goes all the way up like this. Maybe 4.5. I think usually they're about 4. But I thought they needed to be a little thicker. What did I end up with here? 4.5? I can't make decisions. Let's try 4. Getting really close to what I usually do. And remember, the fabric's going to actually... Yeah, I think that's too much. So 4.5, we're going to do it. I thought sure there'd be at least one zip tie under there. Okay. 4.5. Do it by 11, so I know. There's 1. I need a bigger cutting table is what I need. Okay. Okay, so So I'm gonna have a halfway between here. I'm gonna have an elbow. So I'm gonna figure that out. I should probably make a pattern, but in fact, I will make a pattern. How about that? What did I end up with? I think 10 and a half. 10 and, yeah, about 10 and a half. Let's do 10. This is just going to keep getting smaller and smaller, so there's nothing left. Okay, so it's 10. Okay. Now you see why I made a pattern. Okay, now I need 5-inch mark. Ooh, this is not going to be long enough. Okay, well. Too late now. Let's make a little elbow here. Yeah, I think these are going to be a little too short, but I can add a little bit to it. I'm just muttering to myself at this point. I think I'm also going to need a spacer of some kind, but I could be wrong about that. mess. What a mess. What a dump. Okay, I'm not going to glue the top, the bottom, or these two little indents. I'm going to glue everything else. Way too much glue on here as usual. Get this to dry real quick. Let that dry a little bit more. Like I said, I think I kind of need a spacer in here. So that's going to be the top. So this needs to be here. Yeah. So while I'm doing all this, I'm going to make a little spacer. My favorite stuff. So this stuff is this backer stuff. I think it'll work. Let's see. Let me get this out of the way. So I've never tried this before, so we'll see if it works. So I'm taking one of these tubes, which is the same tube that I used in the arm. Just going to try and bore it up through the center of this thing. Okay. This would have been a lot easier if this wasn't on here already. Actually. Hey, how's it going? Oh, Cinco de Mayo's going fine. Doing just how I spent May the 4th. Sitting here making puppets. Well, that didn't work. Trying to see if I can thicken up these puppets a little bit. These arms a little bit. Let's see if this works. There we go. So I'm just trying to give this enough so it's not going to just roll around in there. And I think this will do it. Let me get another piece and do the same thing I just did. It's like skewering a hot dog. Oh, there we go. Exactly. Got to stay straight around all these power tools. Again, this would be a lot easier if I had just done it before I went through all this stuff. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to see if I can get this out of here. I got to cut away a little bit more. I'm not going to cut the. I'm not going to cut the shoelace. I'm going to try and cut this foam away just a little bit. This is where you run into problems. This is where you might have to restring this whole thing, which I'm not even sure I can do at this point. Okay. This brush is so crusty at this point. All right. All right, there's one of Zoidberg's arms, kind of. It's a little tight, so I might want to... Again, I'm being real mindful of where the string is, so I don't accidentally cut that off. I say as I almost cut it off. All right, that's a little bit better. And then he's going to have to, I'm going to have to make a little shoulder for him, but pieces. That one. Starting to get there. Make the other one. I probably don't need the whole length of this foam. I could probably get by with just a couple of little plugs at the end. Oh, that's a good idea. I've done that a couple of times too. I end up using them so much that they don't last long enough to really make it worth me cutting them down. I end up having to feed this thing through. Let's see, let me think about this. Okay, it goes in through like that. Okay. I'm just making a mess of this one. Let's start over. Shall we? Okay. Look how easy a time I had on the first one, and how difficult a time I have on the second one. What I'm doing is I'm using this other tube so I can get these shoelaces up through it. Not that you can see any of this. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let me get this one out of the way. Wait, no, that is the right one. Oh my gosh. Paint fumes. Again, I'm so shocked at how easy a time I had on the first one of these and how difficult a time I'm having on the second one of these. side. There we go. That big blowout's not going to be a problem. Make the other one now. This one might be okay to use. I'm only using this because I don't want the arms to rattle around in there. Because I'm using a little bit bigger arm than I usually do. When you think about this is going to go which arm is that? That's that arm. That one needs to go up. I don't think the glue's going to stick anymore. No, still doing it. Be real careful of that shoelace again. Okay. Okay. Still gotta make little arm caps. I'll figure that out at some point. Okay. That's that one. Oops. This is durable. With any luck, I actually made a right and a left arm. There's one. There's two. All right. This is an unruly puppet. Almost as bad as C-3PO. Okay. So there we go. I'm going to figure out those shoulders and then be ready to cover them. I mean, those arms do seem a little big, but what am I going to do? I like big hands. It always drives me crazy when the Muppets have tiny little hands. Thank you. Okay, let me mark all my patterns here. Zoidberg, arm, half-inch foam. Because I'm actually gonna fix this pattern. It's a little shallow. Okay. And today's date is 5/5/5. All right. That's the inside that. Okay. This is the upper claw Zoidberg. Top, inside, claw, foam, L200, and it's 5/5. Inside, claw, L200. You know, when I make all these other Zoidbergs. Okay, I have one more piece I need. This is Zoidberg claw, half-inch Scott. This is the side, and this is ×2. Zoidberg lower claw L200 ×2. Upper claw L200 ×2. Okay, so that should serve me well when I make my next Zoidberg. Okay. Yeah, yeah, I'm I'm kind of half and half. Usually, the head and body are really well labeled, and then the hands sometimes are labeled, and then by the time I get to the fleece on the hands, forget about it. I'm not gonna remember to write everything, but I am trying to be really good about sticking them in the pattern in the envelope as I go, just so that I have most of the patterns. What ends up happening is I have like Ben Franklin. I was going through it because I've scanned it. Still got to put that up there. Um, I've scanned it and everything, and I was missing one of the patterns. I had to recreate it in order to have it on the for the pattern. But I have 9/10 of the pattern. It's a good practice to get into. That's why I show it every time. Is because I think it's one of those things that's so easy to forget to do, and it's so important later on. Um, you know, it's all you need is to have to recreate something and not really know what you're going to do with it. Yeah, I have a couple patterns over here that I made so many puppets in the last year, and I have like this random mouth palette. I have no idea what it's for. One of these days, I'm going to find it. I just have kind of a miscellaneous guess the pattern file. Um, Let me figure out how I'm going to. Here's another of all these pieces of puppets around here. I want to make a shoulder for him, which I kind of know what the shape is, so I'm just gonna. Well, I get a piece of foam, but I think I know what it is. I know it's going to be 5 inches at the bottom, or 4.5. And I know. What do you think now? I think it's going to be like that. That's my guess. And that'll work. That's kind of just going to make 2 of these guys, and then glue them onto those arms, and then you'll have shoulders. I should actually add this to the other pattern, so I don't have to worry about it, but I'm not going to worry about it. Half-inch Scott. And when I met different Sesame Street or Muppet puppet builders, they said that it was so important to always put the date, sometimes the time, onto your pattern, so that when you have two of the same pattern and the same thing, you can tell which is the most current. So I try to remember to do that. I'm going to make sure I put this on in such a way that it actually makes sense. Makes sense to me. I'm just going to do one of these at a time so I don't get confused. Okay. That shoulder. Almost ruined another shirt. Should be another drinking game. How many shirts am I going to ruin this week? Yeah, exactly. And the whole reason I'm even putting these shoulders on is because I kind of made an error when I was making these arms, in that I didn't get enough foam to make the length right on these things. So I end up with a little bit of pipe hanging out at the top here. There's one arm, one shoulder. And I got to make sure I don't make the same shoulder again. is this arm. Goes like so. You can't ruin the shirt. Don't stretch it. Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. I missed it. Yeah, I have a couple of Karate Kid or what do you call it? Cobra Kai shirts. I did my laundry this morning, and I was gonna joke when I came on. I was like, I should have known I needed to do laundry yesterday when I didn't have any Star Wars shirts that were available to wear for Star Wars Day. Okay, so that goes that way. Just want to make sure I do this right. Okay, let's see. This will go. All right. You see, this one's cool too because I got the All Valley on the back. All right, there we go. He's looking pretty good. And the hands are still somewhat, manipulative. Manipulative. I can manipulate them. Okay, so all that's left on this guy is to pattern the fabric on the hands and then pattern the lab coat and then wait for that actual material to come in so that I can remake all the clothes. But that'll make getting the lab coat's going to help a lot in that I can just use the sleeves and cut them down to fit, I think. We'll see. And then we'll see how the shirt goes. In looking at it, it may still not be the right color. If it's not, I'll just use this one. It's okay. I'd like to have it a little closer. All right, so I got to figure out exactly how I'm going to pattern these hands because they're going to be pretty difficult. I think what's going to end up happening is I think it's going to have a insert inside the hand. It's just like a mouth palette. And then I'm going to actually have to glue the inside of each of these serrated edge. This won't be too difficult, but I think it's going to be 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 pieces. It has to be done. I don't know. But thank you, TC. All right, I'm pretty much gonna, I think, stew about how to do these hands the rest of the night, and then tomorrow that'll be my focus, getting that done, and then patterning the shirt. I mean the patterning the lab coat, and hopefully by Wednesday I'll have those other outfits and I can finish them up by the end of the week. So, all right, thanks for joining me yet again. I'll see you guys later.